Hi there, and welcome to the Sunny Days podcast at jollyville.com. That's JALEAVILLE.com. I'm your host, Jolly. And here at Sunny Days podcast, our purpose is to share a few heartwarming, light, uplifting stories, as well as a birthday or an anniversary, a little entertainment news, and some more. I'm so glad to get to share some feel good moments with you. So grab a cup of sunshine and let's get started. Our first story this week comes to us from the Smithsonian Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute, the SCBI for short, in Front Royal, Virginia. So let's say hello to a few little additions. Our first addition is hello to a baby Western lowland gorilla named Zara. Well, hi there, baby Zara. Did you know that Zara in Swahili means beautiful flower? The name was chosen after a public vote went live on their website. The arrival of new babies is a wonderful cause for celebration. Yet for the Western lowland gorilla, it is even more significant since scientists estimate in the past 20 to 25 years, the number of wild Western lowland gorillas has decreased by nearly 60%. Ciara brings now a total of 6 gorillas to the SCBI. Welcome. And now to another rare species to which each litter is a milestone. A warm hello and congratulations to Miss Hickory, a black-footed ferret. Miss Hickory welcomed 6 new kits and 1 additional foster kit to the SCBI this past summer. The black-footed ferret was once so endangered they were declared extinct in the wild twice. However, breeding programs like the one at SCBI have changed that greatly. If you'd like to watch Miss Hickory cuddle with her kids, check out the zoo's camera at the Smithsonian Zoo Conservation Biology, and their webcam is 24/7 for the baby black-footed ferret. And now our last update from the Smithsonian Zoo is a big Akuta Matata. The zoo has baby meerkats for the first time in 16 years. An early arrival this past May to the meerkat surprise after an 11-week pregnancy, first-time mommy, Sadie, aged 5, gave birth to 3 tiny meerkats overnight. The staff described each of the 3 baby meerkats, which weighed about an ounce, 30 grams at birth, as social, energetic, and inquisitive. The arrival of these pups marked the first meerkat births at the Smithsonian National Zoo since 2007. Well, a very sunny, warm welcome to all of you. And now, a little bit about the power of giving. While Thanksgiving has passed, I know we've concluded our time with the holiday, but let's take a moment to reflect on the true spirit of this holiday, the power of giving. And today, I'd like to shine the sun on a couple of incredible communities among so many that spent the holiday exemplifying the essence of Thanksgiving through their generosity and their compassion. Our first stop is at Miss Corinne's Cake and Catering in Muskegon Heights, Indiana, where the owner of this establishment, Miss Karina Rose, was shown that the true measure of a holiday isn't just in the feast we enjoy, but in the love we share. According to Miss Karine Rose, she says food was prepared for more than 600 people at her restaurant, which became a well-oiled machine, with volunteers in the kitchen filling trays and foods that were then passed to volunteers, handing them out to drivers picking up their free meals. More volunteers served food in-house, and others were busy delivering food into the elderly and to those that are homebound. Miss Rose says, I only had a staff of 10, so the rest of them were out from the community because people heard about it and they called in and said they would like to volunteer. As close as 100 volunteers came in. Rose says owning her own restaurant allows her to carry on what her grandmother had started years ago. I used to cater with my grandma growing up, and she did everything for the church and for the community. Everybody would come to her house and get a plate. She fed everybody. So that's what I do. And I like to say that now, because I have a full-blown restaurant, I can do that. When Miss Rose was asked what her grandmother might say, she said, well, she might cry, but she'd still be in the kitchen. A giant sunny thank you and to your volunteers, Miss Rose. Our story continues to the Donaldson Cafe in Donaldson, Tennessee, where more than 1,000 meals were hot and ready on Thanksgiving Day for the community, organized through donations and partnerships. Their team members also delivered to the hospital waiting room as well as police and fire departments. It's the seventh year for the tradition at Donaldson Cafe and Catering. Anyone in need of a free meal or some holiday company is welcome to join us. Owner Mark Dickinson says each year it seems like we just get more and more people coming in. There's no reservation needed, and it is a team of volunteers just waiting to help. Ed and Mr. Dickerson, it's community, it's love, it's all the things you think of when you come to Thanksgiving. It's a very special day when you can walk in and feel it at the door. A sunny thank you to Mr. Dickinson. And now our feature story coming out of Riverside, California, about a very special school and a very special sports team. Meet the Cubs from California's School of the Deaf, Riverside's football team. The Cubs were once considered the way underdogs, yet they had come up seriously. They've changed those odds and become a division championship team this year. That's right. The Cubs record this season 11-0, which is a first in the school's 68-year history. After overcoming struggles and facing a 14-0 deficit early in the game, Riverside's football team secured their second consecutive win in the Southern Section CIF State Championship. The team secured a 54-42 victory, celebrating with a parade held by the school. As reported by ABC News, Coach Keith Adams told a reporter through an American Sign Language translator, "This is surreal. It was shocking." Talking about what's next for the team, Adams said they were already preparing. Wins like this help to keep the players inspired and helps to continue building their self-confidence. And what do the players say? Well, let's have a few quotes. From wide receiver Jordi Valencia, the notion that they had never had a successful season only fired us up, he said, and inspired us to push harder. Now we're destroying every game. We're showing the world we can win. And according to running back Ines Zornoza, he says that success this season is due to their perseverance and hard work. One game, one practice at a time, he says. And from the wide receiver quarterback, Philip Castaneda, stay committed, stay on task. I think it takes teamwork. And according to Philip, his teammates have an amazing chemistry, which gave them the energy they need to win on the field. Who else said, young fellas? Coach Adams ended with, they're great kids. I knew they were a great team, but they have amazed me and exceeded all my expectations. And running back Ines Zenosa summed it up fabulously, saying, he hopes the attention that they're getting nationwide inspires other deaf kids that they can do anything. We're not this stereotype that's just out there, he says. We're breaking news that we can do this. Yes, you can. Go Cubs. We'll be watching you next year. You are a stunning inspiration. And now for our anniversary, 100th anniversary of our National Christmas Tree and our National Christmas Tree lighting. Here's a little information you might not know about it. In November of 1923, First Lady Grace Coolidge gave permission for the District of Columbia Public Schools to erect a Christmas tree on the south side of the White House. The organizers named the tree the National Christmas Tree. That Christmas Eve at 5 p.m., President Calvin Coolidge walked from the White House to the ellipse and pushed the button to light the cut 48-foot balsam fir as 3,000 enthusiastic spectators looked on. The tree had been donated by Middlebury College and was the president's native state of Vermont. Now, from 1924 to 1953, live trees in various locations around and on the White House grounds were lit on Christmas Eve. In 1954, the ceremony returned to the ellipse and expanded its focus. Local civic and businesses groups created the Christmas Pageant of Peace. Smaller, live trees representing the 50 states, 5 territories, and the District of Columbia formed a pathway of peace. Today, the National Christmas Tree stands as a daily reminder of the holiday spirit and the tradition each succeeding president has participated in since 1923. And now the 100th anniversary of the National Christmas Tree lighting. The tradition of the National Christmas Tree lighting ceremony began on December the 24th, 1923, when President Calvin Coolidge lit a 48-foot balsam from Vermont that was erected in the middle of the eclipse. In 2023, we mark the 100th anniversary of the first national tree lighting. The lighting ceremony will take place on November the 30th, 2023, in President's Park in Washington, D.C. From December 2nd through January the 1st, the public can visit the National Christmas Tree and be part of the annual holiday tradition in the nation's capital. Today's looks back at some of our favorite Christmas tree scenes from the National Archives and from our president's libraries. So go there and take a look and visit them. A few of the things I learned was because of the U.S. involvement in World War II, after 1942, the tree lighting ceremony went on hiatus for the remainder of FDR's presidency and didn't return again until 1945. That year, President Harry S. Truman picked up the tradition again, and during the ceremony remarked, "This is the Christmas that a war-weary world has prayed for through long and awful years." And in 1962, as President John F. Kennedy took part in one of the national Christmas tree lighting ceremonies, during his address, President Kennedy remarked, "It is the day when all of us dedicate our thoughts to others, when all are reminded that mercy and compassion are the enduring virtues, when all show by small deeds and large and by acts that it is more blessed to give than to receive." Well said. Well said. And now for some fun random facts. Here's a few of them. For instance, did you know a cloud weighs around 1,000,000 tons? A cloud typically has a volume of around 1 kg and a density of around 1.003 km per m3. That's a density that's around 0.4% lower than the air surrounding us. That's how they're able to float. And did you also know identical twins don't have the same fingerprints? You can't blame your crimes on your twin after all. That is because environmental factors and things that occur during the womb, the umbilical cord length, the position of the womb, the rate of the finger growth, all impact your fingerprint. Wow, that's interesting. Something else. How about the Earth's rotation is changing speed? It's actually slowing. This means that on average, the length of the day increases by around 1.8 seconds per century. 6 million years ago, a day lasted just 21 hours. Wow. Interesting. One last fun fact. The universe's average color is called cosmic latte. In a 2002 study, astronomers found that the light coming from the galaxies averaged into a beige color that's close to white. Wow. Interesting. Fascinating facts. Okay, how about some entertainment news? In the movie world, Migration will be released in theaters December the 22nd, 2023. Per a deal made between Universal and Netflix, the film will also be streamed on Peacock for the first 4 months, and then it will move on over to Netflix for everybody's streaming pleasures. And now in the music world, The Rolling Stones have revealed their 2024 North American Stadium tour dates. As was expected, the Rolling Stone are returning to the road in 2024 in support of the Hackney Diamonds, their first album of original songs in 17 years. The Stones' most recent North America tour took place in late 2021, but the group played Europe during the summer of 2022. Following the 2021 death of drummer Charlie Watts, the Stones now feature longtime Keith Roberts collaborator Stephen Jordan will be on the drums. So, what are a couple of their first stops on their North American tour? That will be starting April 28th in Houston, Texas, at the NRG Stadium. They will move on from there in May the 2nd into New Orleans, Louisiana, to go to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. In May 7th, they will be in Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium. Stay tuned and we'll let you know where they'll be running about to. As we come to the close of today's episode, let's remember that the stories we've shared can serve as a reminder of the goodness that surrounds us every day. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so find your beauty, shine, and share it. Remember to spread love, joy, and positivity whenever and wherever you go. See you next week for more stories, entertainment news, fun facts, and more. Until then, peace and love always. And thank you for tuning in to the Sunny Daze podcast at jollyville.com. That's JALEAVILLE.com.